This my two Satoshis. This my two Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah, this my two Satoshis.
It's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is Monday. Shout out to my man 10 Pound for the song request today by Millions Laga. Have no clue what that means, but I love hearing hip hop in other countries. It just shows you how big hip hop has become. Shout out to, I want to say Lago. I don't know. Nigeria, stand up if that's the case. I don't know. What's going on, people? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be looking at another shocking move up for Dogecoin. I just can't, literally. You know, I'm an OG in the crypto game. I rock with Dogecoin. Been rocking with them for 7 years, 6 years. I just didn't see this coming. I didn't see the Elon Musk effect really taking it to another level. Over $50 billion market cap now, I think, with Dogecoin. And now there is what's called Doge Day coming up. Will that actually send the coin to that ultimate $1 day? I don't know, man. 420, I think, is Doge Day. We'll have to see what happens. We'll read this article out of Decrypt Media that talks about what's going on. A lot of companies are now starting to jump on the bandwagon to get that clout from crypto. I think Snickers just did. Slim Jim was another one. So we'll see what happens here. But yes, Doge Day is on the way, and we'll talk about the implications from that. Also, we've got out of Cointelegraph, China aims to let foreigners use digital Yuan at the Winter Olympics in 2020. Yet another sign and showcase of China being ahead of the curve, leaving the United States in the dust. And to be honest, you know, this type of implementation of central bank digital dollars is not really a good thing for the citizens. It's more of a race to have more control over the citizens. And we see that happening with China. Of course, they've already had more control over their citizens than many other developed countries, right? So I'll let you guys know my two Satoshis on the implications of that. They're already testing the digital yuan in certain areas within China. And what does this mean? Is this a leverage move from a global financial standpoint? Not really. I think it's just a powerful monetary tool that they'll be able to add to their toolbox of various things to control the economy of China. And so will that type of control, precision, give them some type of benefit on the global playing field? I don't know, but I don't think it's going to necessarily let them take over the world with this digital yuan. Not at all. I think it's more of a domestic thing, if anything. And then lastly, over the weekend, I don't know if you guys saw this big dip in Bitcoin, and I, of course, I'm going to show you my technical analysis that I did and drew these trend lines well before this dip happened. And the bounce basically happened right at my trend line, my outer trend line. So we finally did touch that outer trend line, as I thought we would at some point. There were a lot of rumors floating around as to why this crash happened. Some people were saying that there was some rumored news about some type of crypto ban in the United States or something. This article caught my eye because I didn't even know about this. There was a massive China power outage, and that may be the reason for the Bitcoin crash. We'll take a look at this one. All that coming up on today's episode of My Two Satoshis. Let's get it. Before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. And this week's NFT drop from the Crypto Speedster Season 1 is going to be a mystery one, of course. Let me know in the comments below of this video which vehicle CB will be in this week. Of course, last week we dropped the Lambo CB Bull Run. I was in the Lamborghini Countach, as you guys can see there. Excellent NFT, really dope. Nice collaboration with my man over there at Moon Lambo. You can shop with those guys for all your crypto apparel needs, and ultimately you'll be able to use these NFTs for discounts on their site. Stay tuned for that. Logistically, we just got to get that all together at some point and figure out how to do that. But yes, let me know in the comments below which vehicle do you think Crypto Blood will be riding in this week on the Crypto Speedsters Season 1 NFT series. And let's take a look at the heat map right now. We've got Bitcoin up just 0.5%. Look at Ethereum down 1/3%, trading at $2,196. Pretty much, I would say most of these altcoins are either very close to Unch or definitely in the red. Some of these coins are in the deep red, like BSV, Algo, XTZ, and Nano in the deep red today. But the one we can't ignore, 17% it's up today. It was up higher than that, to be honest with you. I think it was trading at its all-time high of 43 cents. Oh my God, this is crazy. And before we get into what is going on with Dogecoin, I do want to show you guys the updated technicals and where we are. Huge dip that occurred over the weekend, just about touched that trend line. I would count that as a touch. And as we see, we have the ABC pattern starting to form here after that big dip. It's too hard for me at this point to figure out which way we're going to go. If we're going to test the backside of this yellow line, or if we're going to do another dip to the trend line, the outer trend line of around $50,000. Just depends on when it touches it. The longer it waits, the higher that number will be, of course. But this is the third big dip, as I'm highlighting here, that we've seen. 1, 2, and 3 strikes. You're out. Possibly, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. All you can do is just wait for the market to tell you what it's going to do. And as long as it's staying above this trend line, this outer trend line, we are Gucci to continue heading higher, or at least consolidate, but not head lower. That's the whole point, because if we break this trend line, it could get pretty ugly. And when I say could get ugly, we could see a drop down to $42,000 Bitcoin, and that will put us right here across this last high, which is right around here. All right, so that would just draw that all the way across. That would take us down to this area. Again, $43,000, $42,000 Bitcoin is where we're heading if we can't keep this trend line right here. All right, let's talk about this China Winter Olympics 2020 digital yuan being used. Looks like China wants to allow foreign athletes and visitors to use their country's digital yuan during the Beijing Winter Olympics in 2020. China's central bank is looking to enable foreign athletes and visitors to use the country's digital currency during the Beijing Winter Olympics in 2020. Now, a little offshoot of this, should we even be attending the Beijing Olympics of 2020 because of so much genocide and so many humanitarian violations going on with China and the Uyghurs, which is a group of Muslim Asians that have been pretty much exiled. They're doing human organ harvesting over there. A lot of bad stuff going on with the Uyghurs, but yet we're going to the Olympics. I don't understand how we can go to that, but then protest states within the United States for their stance on voting laws, whether you like them or not. You have a country that is literally killing people or harvesting their organs, and we're not doing anything about it. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm not even going to get into that today. But Li Bo, who was the deputy governor of the People's Bank of China, said that the upcoming Winter Olympics could potentially become the first test of China's central bank digital currencies. He says, for the upcoming Winter Olympics, we are trying to make ECNY available not only to domestic users, but also to international athletes and visitors alike. The official also said that the PBOC doesn't intend to replace the US dollar's dominance as the world's reserve currency. Lee reportedly noted that the central bank is focused on the domestic use of the digital yuan. This is exactly what I was saying earlier. Even though we can't believe a lick of what they say, I do believe that part, because basically the digital yuan is no different on paper than the regular yuan. It's just that the control with monetary policy is so much easier and instant. Okay, that's really the biggest difference, which is really of domestic relations. Nothing externally, nothing internationally that would change there. So I believe them when they say that. Despite the PBOC's focus on domestic digital yuans, China's central bank is still exploring cross-border CBDC use. At the same time, working with our international partners, they say hopefully in the long term we have a cross-border solution as well. After launching its first domestic digital yuan test in 2020, China started cross-border CBDC pilots in collaboration with central banks in Hong Kong, Thailand, and the United Emirates. In February, on April 1st, the director of the PBOC's Research Bureau, Wang Xin, announced that China's central bank completed the first cross-border pilots of this digital yuan with Hong Kong Monetary Authority, which is basically China now, right? They're taking over earlier than they were supposed to. which is a disgrace. Let me know your thoughts on that. I said right out the gate with Libra when I saw the white paper the first day, I said it would not work. This is not going to fly. Governments, especially the United States central banks, are not going for you replacing demand for their US dollar, because that's how they keep power, and that's how they continue to be reckless with their monetary policy, to be honest with you. And it's definitely not going to happen by a corporation. They're not going to allow that to happen, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts, though. And then let's take a look at this dip. The dip that we just saw on the chart. This one right here. I'm going to zoom in. This dip, was it caused by a massive power outage? I didn't even know about this power outage. Says on-chain analyst Willie Wu argues a massive power outage in China's mining hub drove Bitcoin's violent crash down to 50,000. So Wu was actually the person that reported on this on April 16th, and he said, Wu Blockchain said the hash rate of Bitcoin mining pools plummeted in 24 hours. AMP pools fell by 24%. BTC.com fell by 18%. And pooling fell by 33%. And the reason was that Northwest China was undergoing a complete blackout for safety inspections. And because of that, we saw the hash rate of Bitcoin's network go from 172 million terahashes to roughly 154. And Wu also attributed that Sunday's violent crypto crash to this sudden drop in hash rate, resulting in power outages. And so there were 9,000 Bitcoins that were transferred to Binance on Friday, speculating the funds were likely sent by a whale with the closer knowledge to the happenings in China. Interesting. Yeah, it got rough in the altcoin markets, really. I saw a huge swing in my portfolio over the weekend. I didn't panic though. I didn't buy, but I also didn't sell anything. So, because I think in the short run, it's still so bullish with cryptos, it makes no sense. I think any short-term bearish news, aside from a black swan event that will really shock the markets, I think any dips are going to be bought. Even if we go back to 42,000, the scenario that I just mentioned to you, I still think that is going to be bought up. It's just so much bullishness going on in the markets right now. I still do think 20,000 is ahead of us. And maybe that's what the market is waiting for, an ultimate black swan event to take us down to 20,000 again. But at that point, you think you're going to get bidded right back up so fast that most people won't even have the opportunity to take advantage of 20,000 Bitcoin again. So you better have those limit orders sitting there ready around 22,000, 25,000. Line them up. So if it triggers, we hit a flash crash, you'll at least get some of those orders filled. That's how I would do that. Don't wait for it. Be prepared and standing by for a move like that. But back to the article. Not everyone agrees with Wu's analysis. Cinnamon Ventures partner Adam Cochran describes the idea that a power outage last night in a mining region in China led to drop in Bitcoin is utter nonsense. So Adam Cochran basically is saying that, causation and correlations can always be proven mathematically, which is much better than lining up log scale charts on a short time frame. So he's saying you can just dump out 3 years worth of hash data and run a Coral function on Excel spreadsheet and find that this is actually not as correlated as people are saying. So I don't know. You have to let me know what you think about that. I tend to lean toward math. I like 100% of the time, so it's not even a tend to lean towards math. I do lean toward and would go with the math behind this versus feelings or lining charts up to make your case. I don't know. I don't think that was necessarily the case as far as why we dropped. I think there may have been a confluence of issues and things that happened. The scare from the rumored lockdown on cryptos. Maybe I'll cover that tomorrow as to maybe why we had a drop. But that could be more of a reason. And it just so happened that there was a power outage with China. But let's talk about this Dogecoin, man. This Dogecoin is just ceases to amaze me. Dogecoin holders have created their own holiday in an attempt to get the meme coin into one decimal club. I was thinking about that. I had never heard of Doge Day before now. So let's take a look at this. This is something new, it looks like. So Dogecoin is back up near the 40-cent marker, and users of the made-up coin are attaching themselves to a made-up holiday to push their beloved Doge over $1. Unlike Bitcoin and most other cryptocurrencies, Dogecoin was designed as a joke, right? But the currency experienced a celebrity-endorsed rival from the likes of Elon Musk, Mark Cuban, even Snoop Dogg. He renamed himself Snoop Doge. But these Doge enthusiasts have taken to Twitter and Reddit to publicize tomorrow's 420, an official holiday celebrating cannabis use, a Doge Day. Doge holders are planning to purchase the coin in large numbers to drive the price up. They want others to do so too. I personally think this is a bad idea because this is basically exercising the greatest fool theory. You know, in the short run, yes, this will work. Long term, markets have to revert back to the mean. So X out Elon Musk, these made up Doge days for 420, all of that on the longer run will be weeded out, and the market will dictate the actual price. And I think that price is less than where we are right now. Not saying the Doge won't be utilized and grow over time. I think it will. It has no, I mean, there's no reason for it not to. If you continue to have celebrities, the richest man in the world pump this, it's going to be a feedback loop. And more people will start buying this coin. I like that people want to buy this coin, but I also like to see them utilize this coin because it is an inflationary coin. It produces 5 million tokens a year, which is great for using it as a day-to-day currency. Any currency that is a deflationary currency is actually not great to use as a means of exchange on a wide scale. You can use Bitcoin to buy a cup of coffee, but it really doesn't help you out in the long run doing that, because you're going to shoot yourself in the foot when you see that you bought that cup of coffee in today's Bitcoin, but 5 years later you spent $1,000 for that cup of coffee because it's deflationary. There's only so many Bitcoins out there. There are only so many coins that are ever going to be created. You want to use that as a store of value, as a store of wealth. That's what you want to do with coins like any coin that has a fixed amount. A lot of these coins, unless they're like in the billions and billions as far as token supply, maybe you can get away with that. But the ones that are in the millions, hundreds of millions, those are going to be coins that are going to appreciate very, very greatly against the US dollar. Just keep that in mind. I know in the short run, it doesn't seem like that's the play you should be going for as far as spending your Dogecoin. But I'm telling you, I think that would be the better play for you as it appreciates so violently. Spend some of that to lock in those gains in either other coins or in, buying Snicker bars, something. This shows you the power of social media. It really does. And so, like I said, this is, nothing surprises me in the short run with Dogecoin. Just be careful. Just be very careful, because these are very temporal, very short-term type of moves in Dogecoin, because it's being promoted by some of the most well-known people in the world. So you're going to have that effect, that follow the leader type of effect, and you may see Dogecoin get to 60 cents, 69 cents easily. Do I see it going to $1 anytime soon? I'm still sticking to that, because you got to remember the law of large numbers. For Dogecoin to hit $1, it would have to literally suck in another 50, I would say almost $60 billion worth of money. Not saying it can't. You have a whole millions of people putting in $10 or $30 or whatever, very small amounts. If you can rally enough people to do that, yes, it can, possibly happen, but it takes a lot of money to double from here. So law of large numbers, it will start to play an effect, and you have to keep that in mind as well. All right, so that's pretty much it though for today, ladies and gents. Let me know your thoughts on Dogecoin. Is it something that's sustainable as far as its price, at current price, and going forward? Do you think it can get even further than this? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of Dogecoin, I do have those Dogecoin NFTs that have been out for about a month and a half or two. Check them out. I think you'll like that. Roll the dice Dogecoin. That was my third prominent cryptocurrency altcoin I purchased and fell in love with back in 2014. I will say I would rather see Dogecoin at fourth place versus XRP. I'll tell you that much. That's for sure. And it's funny because I remember back in the day, Coindesk.com literally had only 3 coins up there: Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. Shout out to my OGs who remember that. All right, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I gotta give another shout out to my man 10 Pound for the song request. Laga, 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 laga. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out of here. It's my 2 Satoshis. Holla!
I put faith in this Rebo drummer. I got more trust in this kitchen stabber.